I told myself it was just a brief escape, a flicker to rekindle something I thought had faded long ago. David, my husband, was steady, gentle, the kind of man who brewed coffee before I stirred, who massaged my shoulders when sleep eluded me. But somewhere in the monotony and unspoken gaps, we stopped truly seeing each other. We became placeholders. So when Ethan, my wild college flame, the one who set my pulse racing and my parents fuming, messaged me out of nowhere, I didn't ignore it. I replied. It started innocently, swapping memories, catching up. Then he wrote, "Run away with me, Clara. Just us, one weekend, no history, no strings." I laughed, closed my phone, walked back to the kitchen, and pecked David's cheek. He smiled, called me sweetheart as always, but I felt nothing. That night, I reread Ethan's words. Something stirred, not just desire, not quite love, but the thrill of being craved. Not needed, wanted. 2 days later, I told David I was off for a girls' trip to the shore. I smiled, packed light, wore the red dress he once said lit me up. On the plane, I silenced David's contact. I told myself it was just a weekend. When I saw Ethan at arrivals, tall, tanned, smirking like time hadn't passed, shame didn't come. I felt alive, slipping into an old version of myself that still fit. We didn't mention David. I didn't want to. Ethan booked a seaside suite, crisp sheets, endless wine. I laughed like I was 22, kissed like I had no stakes, and fell into bed with a man who only knew my spark, not my smoldering embers. That first night, lying beside Ethan, my phone face down, I knew David was likely texting goodnight. I stared at the ceiling, guilt flickering like a distant flame. But I didn't reach for the phone. I turned to Ethan, let his arm wrap around me, told myself I'd face it later. Ethan's world was all sunlight, rooftop drinks, laughter too loud for the hour, his hand on my back like I was untamed. We strolled markets, kissed in alleys, sipped wine at noon, danced barefoot in hotel sheets by midnight. For 7 days, I was someone else, freer, unburdened by grocery lists, laundry, or silent dinners where we barely spoke. But guilt began to creep in. It started small, a pair of socks in a drawer, like the ones David folded on Sundays, a waiter pouring tea just how David did. I brushed it off. I'd silenced David's number, but not his presence in my mind. I pictured him texting, wondering, his face shifting from worry to doubt. I imagined him calling my friend, met with silence. I kept my phone off, couldn't risk it. On day 4, Ethan asked, "You good?" I smiled, lied, never better. Maybe I meant it in moments when he kissed my hand in public, looked at me like I was still magic. But the freedom had an edge now, a bitter undertone. When he looked away, I saw David in our living room, waiting for a text that wouldn't come. Still, I didn't stop. I kissed Ethan harder, ordered another drink. On the 6th night, a dream woke me, David at a cliff's edge, calling my name. I couldn't move, couldn't speak, just watched him fade. I sat up, heart racing, staring at my phone's dark screen. My thumb hovered over the power button, but I didn't press it. "One more day," I whispered. "One more day to be this Clara." That's how I justified it, how I delayed the reckoning. The plane landed, and my stomach sank. I unsilenced David's number before we reached the gate. No missed calls, no texts, just silence. I told myself he was asleep, angry, or giving me space. But the house felt wrong, too clean, too still. No jackets by the door, no shoes by the couch. His mug wasn't by the sink. His charger, usually tangled by the bed, was gone. The bookshelf he'd been organizing was finished. The air felt empty, like a memory erased. I called out, "David?" Nothing. In the bedroom, drawers were open, clothes missing, his cologne gone, the notes he left in my jewelry box vanished. Panic rose, quiet but relentless. Then I saw it, an envelope by the coffee pot, my name in his handwriting. Clara. My hands trembled as I opened it. I waited 3 days before I started packing. I told myself you might be hurt, lost, or trying to find your way back. But on day 4, I stopped pretending. You chose silence. You chose him. I'm not angry, just done. I gave you every quiet piece of me, and you wanted noise. I'm worth more than being ignored. I hope he gives you what I couldn't. Goodbye. I stood there, the room spinning, the floor blurring. He didn't shout, didn't curse, didn't beg or ask why. He just left, with a dignity I never credited him for. I sank to the floor, clutching the letter, as if it could bring him back. It only pressed the truth deeper. I hadn't just left him, I'd lost him. For 2 days, I didn't leave the house. His scent clung to the sheets, faint but stubborn, a ghost I couldn't erase. His words echoed, I'm worth more than being ignored. He didn't accuse, didn't rage, and that cut deeper. He'd made peace with losing me. I hadn't. I texted, called, emailed, nothing but voicemail, silence. I wrote letters, sent them to his sister, his office, anywhere he might see. No reply. A week passed, then 2, still nothing. Ethan texted again, a beach photo, a winking emoji. I stared, repulsed, not just at him but at myself. I deleted it. That chapter was a lie, a costly indulgence. Ethan wasn't my future, he was a mirror for my flaws. Friends noticed I stopped wearing my ring, dodged their questions, smiled when I had to. But I was sinking, drowning behind my own teeth. I scrubbed the house, donated clothes, rearranged furniture, but the bed was too big, the mornings too quiet, the coffee wrong without him. The final blow came softly, as true endings do, a large envelope,